200,000 units are ready, with 1 million more well on the way. When Lama Su dropped that line in Attack of the Clones, we all thought we were getting an army of identical soldiers. Boy, were we wrong. Turns out the Grand Army of the Republic was more like a Swiss Army knife, each clone trooper type designed for a specific purpose, from underwater demolition experts to jetpack-wearing aerial assault specialists. Today, we're breaking down every type of clone trooper in Star Wars canon, and trust me, there are way more varieties than you might think. So, grab your Phase 2 helmet, check your DC-15 blaster, and let's dive into the most comprehensive clone trooper guide this side of Kamino. Let's start with the basics, your standard clone trooper. These guys were the foundation of the entire Republic war machine, the vanilla ice cream of the clone army. Not boring, just the essential base everything else builds on. These troopers were the primary infantry units trained from birth on Kamino to be perfect soldiers. They came in two main flavors, Phase 1 and Phase 2 armor. Phase 1 was that sleek, fin-headed design we first saw on Genesis, based on Jango Fett's Mandalorian armor but adapted for mass production. The kit included a body glove, 20 pieces of lightweight plastoid alloy composite armor, and a helmet with a T-shaped visor that, let's be honest, didn't offer the best peripheral vision. Phase 2 armor rolled out around year 2 of the Clone Wars and was a massive upgrade. Gone was the uncomfortable fin, replaced with a more ergonomic design that actually let troopers turn their heads. The Phase 2 featured better joint articulation, improved communication systems, and enhanced comfort, because even genetically engineered super soldiers appreciate not chafing during 48-hour battles. Standard clones wielded DC-15A blaster rifles for long-range engagements and DC-15S carbines for close-quarters combat. They underwent flash training and live combat simulations that would make Special Forces training look like summer camp. Their baptism by fire came at Genesis, where 200,000 clones faced millions of battle droids. Despite being outnumbered, superior training and tactics carried the day. Throughout the Clone Wars, standard troopers formed the backbone of every major engagement, from Christophsis' urban warfare to Felucia's fungal jungles. What made them special wasn't equipment or specialization, it was their unwavering loyalty and individual growth. They painted their armor, earned nicknames, and developed distinct personalities. From rookie shinies, fresh off Kamino, to grizzled veterans who'd survived dozens of campaigns. Each trooper brought something unique to their unit while maintaining the discipline that made the GAR legendary. Now we're getting into the Officers Club. Clone commanders were the cream of the crop, hand-selected for advanced training in tactics, strategy, and that most challenging military skill, dealing with Jedi generals who thought aggressive negotiations was a valid battle plan. These commanders weren't just promoted from the ranks, they were identified early on Kamino and given specialized training modules. Think of it as a clone grad school where instead of writing a thesis, you had to successfully coordinate planetary invasions while keeping your Jedi from doing something heroically stupid. Commanders led battalions of approximately 576 troopers, distinguished by unique armor markings and color schemes. The color coding helped troops identify leadership in battle chaos. Yellow for the 327th Star Corps under Commander Bly, orange for the 212th Attack Battalion under Commander Cody, and blue for the legendary 501st Legion under Captain Rex, who functioned as a commander despite his technical rank. Commander Cody, CC-2224, exemplified by the book leadership, serving alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi with saintly patience. His strategic mind was second only to his ability to interpret Kenobi's vague warnings into actionable intelligence. Rex, CT-7567, balanced Anakin's impulsiveness with tactical precision, his modified helmet featuring welding goggles and tally marks that veterans knew better than to ask about. Commander Gree, CC-1004, of the 41st Elite Corps developed expertise in alien cultures, proving invaluable during the Kashyyyk campaign. Bakara, CC-1138, led the Galactic Marines with aggressive tactics, his distinctive armor looking like someone weaponized a snowtrooper. What set commanders apart was their ability to balance contradictory orders from Republic brass and Jedi generals. They were diplomats, strategists, and warriors rolled into one package. Many developed such strong relationships with their generals that executing Order 66 created momentary hesitation, though behavioral programming ensured compliance. These leaders represented the best of what clones could become. Individual thinkers who maintained military excellence while developing their own command philosophies. Alright, now we're talking about the rock stars of the clone army, the ARC troops. If standard clones were reliable sedans, ARCs were Formula 1 race cars with missile launchers strapped to the hood. Advanced Recon Commandos began differently in Legends versus current canon. In Legends, there were exactly 100 Alpha-class ARCs trained personally by Jango Fett. These weren't average clones, they maintained Jango's independent streak and creative thinking. The Kaminoans considered them dangerously autonomous and nearly terminated them, but Jango recognized their independence made them perfect for special operations. During the war, the ARC program expanded beyond the original Alphas. Selection was brutal. Only the best standard troopers were chosen, and survival wasn't guaranteed. Candidates like CT-5555, Fives, and CT-1409 Echo proved that regular clones could ascend to ARC status through sheer determination and creative interpretation of regulations. ARC armor was immediately recognizable, Phase 1 or 2 base modified with additional plating, pauldrons, camas, those tactical half-skirts, rangefinders, and ammunition pouches. They carried DC-15A rifles, dual DC-17 hand blasters, and whatever explosives they could strap to themselves. If it went boom and was portable, it was ARC-approved. Their missions ranged from deep reconnaissance to assassination and sabotage. During Kamino's defense, ARCs like Fives and Echo held off entire separatist battalions through superior tactics and liberal explosive use. They operated with remarkable autonomy, making battlefield decisions that regular clones would need to run up the chain of command. What made ARC special was their mindset. Encouraged to think independently and disobey orders when necessary, they embodied Jango's legacy more than any other clones. This independence proved crucial in countless battles, but also made them more likely to question suspicious orders. Fives' investigation of the inhibitor chip conspiracy exemplified this trait. His ARC training made him too independent to simply accept what he discovered. Their legacy lived on in the clones they trained and inspired to think beyond their programming. If ARC troops were rock stars, clone commanders were the mysterious bass players who somehow ended up being the most interesting members of the band. These Republic Black Ops specialists handled jobs nobody talked about at Senate hearings. Commandos operated in 4-man squads called pods, each member specializing in different roles: squad leader, tech specialist, demolitions expert, and sniper. Delta Squad, Boss, Fixer, Scorch, and Sev became the most famous through their Republic Commando game exploits and Clone Wars appearance. Their training differed radically from standard programs. From birth, pods were raised together by Mandalorian sergeants like Cal Scarata and Wallen Va, who taught them to think like Mandalorians, not just fight like soldiers. This created warriors more Mandalorian in mindset than most clones. Cattern-class commando armor was a technological masterpiece. Where standard armor prioritized mass production, Cattern armor featured heads-up displays rivaling starfighter systems, integrated shields, back-to dispensers, and plating that could tank super battle droid fire. The DC-17M interchangeable weapon system was their signature weapon, configurable as rifle, sniper, or grenade launcher. Why carry 3 weapons when one does everything? Commandos tackled missions deemed impossible for regular troops, assassinating separatist leaders, sabotaging factories, extracting VIPs from hot zones. During Genesis, while the main army fought above, commandos were already behind enemy lines, eliminating anti-aircraft positions. What set commandos apart was pod unity. Where regular clones connected with entire units, commandos' relationships with pod brothers bordered on telepathic. They developed unique sign languages and could coordinate complex operations silently. Losing a pod member was devastating. Many never fully recovered. Post-Order 66, commando fates varied wildly. Some, like Delta Squad, became Imperial commandos. Others, particularly those trained by Scarata, deserted rather than serve the Empire. Their advanced training and tight-knit loyalty made them among the few clones who could sometimes resist their control implants, though this resistance came at terrible personal cost. They proved that the strongest force in the galaxy might just be the connection between soldiers who trained together since birth. Here's where the Grand Army showed off its diversity. Like a military hardware store, they had specialized troops for every conceivable situation. Fighting underwater? There's a trooper for that. Need someone to burn out enemy bunkers? Trooper for that too. Scout troopers were the Republic's reconnaissance specialists, eyes and ears of advancing forces. Their armor sacrificed protection for mobility, perfect for zipping through forests on 74Z speeder bikes or ATRT walkers. During Kashyyyk, scouts worked seamlessly with Wookiee warriors, proving stealth was possible even alongside 7-foot roaring allies. Clone scuba troopers made their mark during Mon Cala's aquatic campaigns. Their modified armor looked like someone crossed a clone with a vintage deep-sea diver. Equipped with underwater propulsion jets and adapted weapons, they fought alongside Mon Calamari and Gungans in the war's strangest battles. Flamethrower specialists brought psychological warfare to the battlefield. Armed with BT-X-42 heavy flamethrowers, they cleared bunkers and enemy positions where conventional weapons failed. Their distinctive fuel tanks made them prime targets, but nothing motivated surrender quite like advancing walls of flame. Heavy gunners answer the question, what if we need all the firepower? These absolute units carried Z6 rotary blaster cannons that could create near-solid walls of blaster fire. Troopers like Hardcase became legendary for single-handedly holding positions against overwhelming odds. Engineer troopers were unsung heroes keeping the war machine running. While others fought, engineers built bridges, cleared mines, and constructed bases. During Ryloth's liberation, they literally built the path to victory. Clone Cold Assault troopers specialized in Arctic warfare, their modified armor protecting against extreme temperatures. Galactic Marines took this further, becoming all-environment specialists who could fight anywhere from volcanic worlds to frozen wastelands. The beauty lay in their interoperability. Mixed squads combining different specialists could adapt to any situation, proving the Republic's tactical flexibility. Each variant represented not just equipment differences, but entire combat philosophies adapted to specific challenges. Look, up in the sky! It's clone troopers who looked at gravity and said, that's more of a suggestion, really. Aerial assault specialists represented three-dimensional thinking in warfare. Why limit combat to the ground when you can rain destruction from above? Airborne troopers were the GAR's paratroopers, specializing in high-altitude drops and vertical assaults. These weren't just clones with parachutes. They underwent extensive training in aerial maneuvering, high-altitude combat, and hot zone landings. Their armor featured specialized plating for altitude operations and enhanced targeting systems for mid-fall accuracy. The 212th Attack Battalion's airborne company became legendary at Utapau. These orange armored daredevils dropped directly into General Grievous's stronghold, proving the best door knock sometimes involves falling through the roof at terminal velocity. Their distinctive helmets with enlarged visors provided better visibility during drops while giving them a perpetually surprised expression, fitting for soldiers whose job description was voluntary falling. Jet troopers took aerial assault further with JT-12 jetpacks enabling sustained flight. These weren't just transport devices. Skilled operators used them for flanking maneuvers, rapid repositioning, and dramatic entrances that would make any action hero jealous. Training washout rates were astronomical. Flying while shooting, dodging return fire, and not colliding with squad mates pushed even enhanced clone reflexes to their limits. Successful graduates became the GAR's most versatile soldiers. During Genesis, jet troopers proved invaluable by flanking impregnable separatist positions. They'd rocket over enemy lines, deliver devastating fire, then vanish before droids could recalibrate targeting. The 501st Jet Company starred during Coruscant's defense, clearing skyscrapers through precision window strikes when conventional forces would have leveled city blocks. Aerial troops developed unique culture within the GAR. Pre-jump rituals, lucky charms, and gallows humor born from regularly leaping from spacecraft. Equipment evolved throughout the war, with late-model jetpacks offering extended flight time and integrated weapons. These specialists proved that the high ground wasn't just advantageous, it was mandatory. When you need someone to maintain order on a planet with trillions of inhabitants and senators who made hurting next to look easy, you called the shock troopers. These were the Republic's military police, with all the charm of a stun baton to the face. The Coruscant Guard served as elite law enforcement on the capital world. Their distinctive red markings weren't decorative. They signaled immediate recognition as Republic authority. Led by Commander Fox, CC-1010, these troopers had perhaps the GAR's most thankless job, policing a planet where the speed limit was measured in light speed factors. Shock troopers' training emphasized crowd control, riot suppression, detention procedures, and VIP protection. Where regular clones studied battlefield tactics, Shocks learned civil law, investigation techniques, and de-escalation, though their vision usually involved stunning first, questioning later. Equipment included DC-15S blasters configured for stun, riot shields, and crowd control weapons. Commander Fox became one of the war's most controversial clones. Where Rex and Cody earned love and respect, Fox enforced increasingly authoritarian Senate policies. He arrested Ahsoka Tano, hunted Fives during the Chip conspiracy, and symbolized Republic authority, not always positively. His red armor became synonymous with order, regardless of moral cost. Beyond policing, the Guard protected the Senate, secured installations, and served as Coruscant's last defense. During the Separatist invasion, while the 501st rescued Palpatine in space, the Guard fought desperate ground battles protecting government buildings. they held despite the city burning around them. What distinguished shock troopers was constant civilian interaction. They navigated dozens of species customs, mastered non-lethal takedowns, and balanced enforcement with diplomacy. They couldn't just blast problems away. Senators' aides jaywalking required different responses than battle droids. The tragic irony: trained to protect citizens and uphold law, they became Imperial oppressors after Order 66. The same troopers who'd protected protesters while secretly sympathizing found themselves enforcing brutal crackdowns. The Coruscant Guard's transformation from protectors to oppressors epitomized the Republic's fall, red armor shifting from safety symbol to fear icon. Here's where genetics threw curveballs at Kaminoan perfectionism. While they aimed for identical soldiers, some defective clones became the GAR's most effective warriors, proving manufacturing errors might just be evolution's suggestions. Clone Force 99, aka the Bad Batch, were the X-Men of clones, each born with mutations initially deemed failures, but proving incredibly advantageous. Hunter possessed enhanced senses, making him a tracking savant who could literally smell ambushes. His half-skull tattoo and bandana suggested a clone who'd wandered into a metal concert and decided to stay for the war. Wrecker's enhanced strength and explosive enthusiasm made other demolition experts look like pacifists. Standing taller than regular clones, his scarred armor and cybernetic eye testified to someone who'd blow himself up almost as often as enemies. Tech's exceptional intelligence let him hack separatist systems while calculating hyperspace jumps mentally. His modified armor bristled with enough computing power to run small planets. Crosshair's vision enhancement and rocksteady hands could thread needles from 2 clicks during earthquakes. His toothpick-chewing persona embodied every sniper stereotype, but his modified 7.73 Fire Puncher rifle's kill count backed up the attitude. Echo later joined them, not born different, but made unique through Techno-Union cybernetics, becoming a living computer interface with incredible tactical value. Beyond the Bad Batch, other unique clones emerged throughout the war. 99, the malformed maintenance clone on Kamino, proved heroism transcended perfect genetics when he died defending his home. His sacrifice inspired countless brothers and demonstrated that defective didn't mean less valuable. The concept of genetic variance extended to training programs too. Some standard clones displayed exceptional abilities that set them apart. Heavy from Domino Squad showed remarkable weapons proficiency despite being a regular clone. Tup's premature chip malfunction revealed the dark programming hidden in every clone's mind. These variants challenged the clone army's fundamental premise. Kaminoans wanted uniformity, but the war's greatest heroes often deviated from templates. They proved diversity strengthened rather than weakened Republic forces. During Order 66, some like the Bad Batch found their differences provided chip resistance, while others felt the violation of forced compliance more keenly than standard clones. The Clone Wars didn't retire clone troopers, it transformed them into something darker. The Republic to Empire transition caught clones in an identity crisis worthy of philosophical study. These democracy defenders became the boot crushing it. Post-Order 66, clones experimented galactic-scale gaslighting. Heroes one day, Jedi executioners the next. Inhibitor chips ensured compliance, but as effects varied, many experienced existential crisis. Their colorful unit markings disappeared, replaced by uniform Imperial gray. The Empire wanted conformity, not individuals. Units transitioned differently. Imperial shock troopers adapted seamlessly, their red markings remaining while enforcement became brutal. They templated the future Emperor's Royal Guard, trading crowd control for Sith protection. The 501st's transformation into Vader's Fist was particularly jarring. Anakin's boys now served the mechanical monster who'd been their general. Imperial clone commandos represented perhaps the most tragic shift. Elite special forces reorganized into Imperial special operations, their black armor symbolizing ruthlessness. Some rationalized continued service, others deserted, unable to reconcile actions with training. As recruitment began replacing clones, veterans found themselves training their cheaper, more compliant replacements. The irony wasn't lost. Created to replace droids, now being replaced by organic versions themselves. Some adapted disturbingly well, their programmed obedience making them ideal Imperial instructors who created stormtroopers as pale shadows of clone excellence. Others couldn't adjust. Malfunctioning chips led to desertions. Some joined rebel cells, others vanished into the Outer Rim seeking meaning. The Bad Batch's journey from elite commandos to fugitive mercenaries exemplified this struggle. The Empire's treatment of aging clones added final insult. Accelerated aging meant most would be elderly or dead by A New Hope. The Empire provided minimal veteran support. Clones who'd given everything found themselves discarded. The transition period revealed the fundamental tragedy of clone existence. Created as ultimate soldiers, they became victims of their own efficiency. Their story serves as a cautionary tale about the cost of treating people as equipment, no matter how exceptional that equipment might be. And there you have it, every major type of clone trooper in the Star Wars galaxy. From the backbone infantry to the elite commandos, from underwater specialists to jetpack daredevils, the Grand Army of the Republic was far more diverse than those first scenes on Kamino suggested. Each variant represented not just a different combat role, but a unique culture within the broader clone identity. What makes the clone troopers so fascinating isn't just their military efficiency or cool armor designs. It's their humanity. These were soldiers literally created for war, yet they developed personalities, friendships, and moral codes that often transcended their programming. They painted their armor, gave each other names, and formed bonds stronger than their shared genetics. The tragedy of Order 66 becomes even more poignant when you realize it wasn't just an army turning on the Jedi. It was millions of individuals, each with their own stories and specializations, forced to betray everything they'd fought for. Whether they were standard troopers or elite arcs, their inhibitor chips reduced them to the very thing they'd been created to replace: mindless, programmable soldiers. But here's the beautiful thing about the clones' legacy. It lives on. In Star Wars Rebels, we see Rex, Wolf, and Gregor as old men, still fighting the good fight. In The Bad Batch, we watch Clone Force 99 struggle with their identity in a galaxy that no longer wants them. These stories remind us that the clones were never just soldiers. They were people shaped by their experiences rather than their genetics. So the next time you watch the Clone Wars era content, pay attention to those background troopers. That scout zipping by on a speeder bike, he probably had a nickname and a story. That shock trooper standing guard, he might have been questioning every order even as he followed it. Each type of clone trooper represented not just a military function, but a unique perspective on one of the most fascinating militaries in science fiction. Did we miss your favorite type of clone trooper? Are you Team Phase 1 or Phase 2 armor? And most importantly, which specialized clone unit would you want watching your back in a firefight? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into Star Wars lore, and remember, good soldiers follow orders, but great soldiers know when not to. May the Force be with you, and watch those wrist rockets.